We are back again in the Hunter Classic to continue hunting for the newly added Wood Grouse, and I really wanted to see what it was like hunting them here on Hirschfelden. Now, one thing a lot of you guys pointed out in the comments was that we should have been using the crossbow pistol for them if we wanted to take several out silently, and I definitely agree with that. So we're going to give that a shot. We also have the 223 should we want to take some long range, because that is ethical. And this, in general, isn't going to be only a Wood Grouse hunt. We're going to just sort of hunt Hirschfelden and see how many we can encounter. So we also have the cableback bow for red deer, roe deer, red fox, whatever else we see. And we've barely gone, like, 50 meters, and we've got one walking right into us. It was up to 7.2 kilo, and because this is going to be a general Hirschfelden hunt and not just going after the Wood Grouse, we've got a much more simple setup today, just a hen decoy. But this guy basically ran right in. We're just outside the outpost. But let's see, maybe a decent one based on the estimate. 5.2 kilo is nothing special. Hard shot though at 12.8 meters. And not a bad start, so I honestly don't know if they're going to frequent the fields or the forest more, but hopefully by the end of the hunt we'll find out. Well, so far anyway, we've barely even needed the caller or decoys. Got another one out here, and he's just been calling out on his own. We've not done any calling. And up to 7.2 kilo, again, I think that's just going to be a thing. Most are probably going to be max weight estimate until we get a higher spotting level, but I want to try this. 223. I mean, I don't know what I expect. It's obviously going to kill it, but it is ethical. And I think it's going to be nice for maybe longer shots, if they are indeed near the fields. And just to show, we're not far from the fields, so it wouldn't shock me if that can happen. 250, 300 meter shots could definitely be a thing, but let's go and see. It's going to make it a little more intriguing, I think, having the weight estimate on all the spotting, just because a lot of them are going to be potentially high scoring just based off that. I do kind of think this one might be a little bit bigger, but it's tough to tell. He is, well, technically a little bit bigger, 5.4 kilo, body shot at 75 meters, and while 2 birds isn't a huge sample size, in just about 20 minutes here, we're finding them pretty easily like we did on Fallow. I'm guessing they're fairly heavily populated. You know, I hadn't thought of it before we got here, but Hirschfelden has gotten quite a lot of love lately to really bring it back to light. The fallow deer are also a fairly new species, and I had forgotten they were actually here, but we've got a couple coming in. None are all that big. And I should also note, I typically struggle with fallow deer and bows, so hopefully this will go well, but want to make sure we spot them all. I don't know if I spotted this one yet, but that one buck is getting right under the stand, which for the cableback might actually be a good thing. We'll try to shoot him out in front, but a lot of times these like frontal chest shots are where I experience trouble. That time we're all good, so no tracking needed. And I'll be curious to see what's over on this side. So we fast traveled across the river. I think we're going to work our way down through the trees a little bit more and just see what we run into down there. But nice to get another fallow deer. Should be, I'd say, in the area of 100 inches or so. Actually, hard shot him, 105. Not too bad. And we'll work our way down south of here. And unsurprisingly, we've got yet another one coming in as soon as we move into the forest. So my best guess would be that they spend more time in the trees than in the fields. I'm kind of thinking maybe we can get this one with the cableback. It's in a weird spot, especially because it's just standing still. I kind of want to try this. Should be something like that. Did we hit him? I don't know. His reaction leads me to believe we did. Let's grab that. And I think he's laying dead right there. So good deal. Got a little bonus cableback kill out of that. We are, I think, over 600. So assuming we can continue kind of the trend that we had last year, we should top 1,000 with the cableback bow this year, and I'm looking forward to that moment. But actually, that's our biggest one, despite being the lowest estimate, 5,800 score. I'd like to know where we hit, but obviously not in the vitals. And we'll just continue our way down through here. There should be red foxes, roe deer, maybe red deer down here. So hopefully it's not all wood grouse as we continue forward. Well, on the plus side, we can't help but find wood grouse, whether we like it or not. This guy's just coming right in, up to about 7 kilo. And although we don't even have the crossbow pistol loaded at the moment, I think we're still going to be okay. Interesting, he just basically ignored the decoy. But this is the thing I like about the wood grouse. They come into calls so quickly that in an area like this, when you're maybe not focusing on them, they're a perfect opportunity to kill. Compare it to wild boar that are on this map, or at least decent-sized male roe deer that come in really, really slowly. Sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's worth calling back to them when you get a call, because you know you're going to be there for 5-10 minutes trying to call it in. This wood grouse called from basically the edge of hearing distance and was here in like a minute and a half. I really like that about them, and when it comes to their overall contribution to the map, I think they're perfect for that kind of thing. At this point, I think we're actually going to go to the fields just to maybe have a better chance of encountering other stuff, because we are just tripping over these things. This may, though, be our opportunity to really get to see what the crossbow pistol can do, because there seem to be a number of them around. So if we can just slowly kind of take them out quietly, we should be able to get a decent number of them, and hopefully they just keep on coming in. It sounds like these two are kind of getting here at the same time. I can't see the one on the left, but there's definitely one pretty close over on that side too. That one's got a good estimate, and actually, maybe we should take them in this order. That's a small one, but I think because of how silent this is, it actually makes more sense to do that. We'll get prone and reload this, and he's in range. I guess kind of worked out well that he was that far away. We could go cable back again, but because the entire point of this one was to make use of the crossbow pistol, we'll stick with it. Could not ask for an easier shot. And that's 3. I don't know if there's more around, but I think we'll be happy with that. Let's go ahead and get our one hen decoy. And this one I think was the only one with a really good estimate, but maybe he'll be halfway decent. 5.9 is alright, but not special. Hard shot that at 9 meters. And the other two I can't imagine are going to be much different. This might be the smallest we've shot. Hard shot again. And for the one that we shot from further, I don't even remember the estimate. 4.7, so most of them were a little below average. But let's go just to the fields, like up in here, and see what we encounter. I'd be happy to take more wood grouse, but I was hoping to see some other stuff too other than one fallow deer. This is at least a little more like it. Got a couple of different species of deer here, and I don't see any even remotely decent fallow. Those are all does, but let's go ahead and take this red stag. Hopefully we can make a decent shot at like 3 meters with the cable back. Couldn't have made that much easier, but even still, as we're here, I could hear wings flapping, so either there's a pheasant sitting here or more wood grouse. They just seem to be all over the map, and again, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do wonder going forward, because everything else that I've seen from them have been incredibly positive, but will they be so vocal and so common that they're actually making it harder to find other animals? That will remain to be seen, but in general, if you enjoy hunting them, they're not hard to find. Well, that is certainly one way to make this hunt a little more interesting. A melanistic fallow buck, 85 to 160, I'd put him in like the 120 area. It looks a little odd at distance though, so I'm hoping when we get closer that won't be happening, but we'll start calling. I really hope those pheasants don't fly towards them. Fleeing pheasants can spook other things, and they're kind of moving that way, so we'll take it slow and kind of find ourselves a high point in the field and probably slow down. That could be a problem. I don't know if just laying here will get away with this. We should be camouflaged right now, but the Melanistic still hasn't come up over the hill, so he must be just last. I don't know, was that him there? That's him on his way. That other buck is still onto us though, and the moment that we crouch up with the cable back, I think they're gonna bolt, but we gotta just lay here and hope for the best. I don't think moving further away is gonna help. Because of the does though, I almost feel maybe that's our best odds. At some distance, while prone, if he's not gonna spook, we may be able to get away with this, but that was kind of to be expected. So now the question is, can we get the right track and locate him? They don't run that far. It's probably going to be up by that tower, but one way or another, through calling or spot and stock, we still got to get within like 30 meters. I don't even know at this stage how long we've been following this fallow doe. I believe it to be from the same herd, and I do think that we got the track of the melanistic buck, but because nothing is calling, and naturally due to fleeing tracks, they won't call out, the best thing I can think to do is just sort of follow it and try to stick to the tracks, because it's going to return to the herd. Whether the Melanistic is the one that all the animals return to or not, I don't know. But I don't really have a better idea, since the tracks appear to go this way and that doe's going this way. But now suddenly, she's just turned around and started coming back this way. I almost feel like if we can take her out, we should, because I think she's going to end up getting in the way. That'll work, because I still think that Melanistic's up here, and if he ends up coming back next, this doe could have definitely spooked him, so hopefully that was the right move. I feel completely lost. We're such a low tracking level for fallow deer right now, it's really tough to tell exactly what we're on. We can't see the way to the track. I'm just going on location of where it was, but I guess if we can keep sneaking around here, eventually we're bound to find it. We were on the right track, but he's still not exactly making this easy. I don't know if he's calm enough to respond to a call. I guess we'll try and just kind of keep scooting through the brush. I can hear him, so he's obviously staying close, and I don't know if he's going to do the same thing as the doe and just try to scoot back past us. So, man, that's a little further than I want to shoot, and we don't have any arrows equipped, but if we can get him just sitting still for a moment, maybe like that, I think we go for it. Did that hit him? He acted pretty funny, but I don't think that could have missed. Even if it's body blood, it'll be enough to bring him down. It's even lung blood. What an odd reaction that was. I'm gonna be honest, this hunt has been a little tough, and I don't know if it's because of the wood grouse. They were the bulk of our kills, so I kind of doubt it. It may have been more so because at one stage we just started ignoring wood grouse, and maybe we were spooking other things unknowingly. But 3.5 hours, and I don't know how long we tracked this thing, finally got an arrow in him, only to have the most delayed reaction and slight worry that we missed. But he shouldn't be far now. In fact, he's laying just up ahead of us, so in the end, we managed to get what'll be the first fallow deer really worthy of adding to one of our trophy lodges. I don't know what we may have to replace in the rares lodge, but I think this guy's going to find a spot. He's not bad, hardly huge, but I think he's going to be the biggest one we shot. 26 meters, left lung, 101, so a little smaller than the last, but even still, we'll text that straight away, and I think he was actually down in the sunlight, so should be able to, even on this hill, manage a decent photo. By the way, there's our exit, just about perfect. I wonder why I reacted like that, because not all fallow do. And so we ended up going with a pretty realistic pose here. This log was just perfectly placed to help with the fact that we're on a hill. And by the way, if this appears to be his neck clipping through, it's not. They just have like a really obvious Adam's apple, and nothing is clipping. I actually checked. But that, especially with the length that we chased him, will be something we're going to go and check out in the trophy lodge. And because we spent so long after him, we should be able to fast travel straight away. So of course, this being a multiplayer session, we can't actually change the pose of the fallow deer right now, but I think it's a pretty nice addition to this back wall of deer. We've got a Melanistic blacktail next to that, both kind of in that same class of average or maybe just below, but I think it looks pretty good and nice to finally add a fallow deer to our collection of rares in this trophy lodge, and go figure, on a wood grouse hunt. And I still don't know how much the wood grouse being on Hirschfelden affected the fact that we just weren't finding many other species. Maybe another hunt would be completely different, and at some stage here, we'll see, because I really like the new additions to that map. Fallow deer, the wood grouse, and of course the species that are always there have been fantastic as well. But that is going to do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.